Good day, everyone, dear students. Today we are going to discuss Jose Rizal life and works, but we are going to start discussing about the law or the Republic Act 1425 or Rizal Law. Before going to the life of Rizal, especially the early life of Rizal, what is Republic Act 1425 or Rizal Law? House Bill number 5561 before it was called Senate Bill number 438 is commonly known as the Rizal Act, established on 12th June of 1956 by Senator Claro M. Recto. This bill requires the curricula of private and public schools, colleges, and universities courses to include works and writings of Jose Rizal, particularly his novels Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo. It was made effective on August 16, 1956, Rizal Law as a Republic Act number 1425. What is this law? The framework of this law, 1425 or a 1425, was based on this idea that uh, Filipinos need to have someone to look up, and that is particularly becoming the national hero of our country. It says, today, more than other period of history, there is a need for a rededication to the ideals of freedom and nationalism for which our heroes lived and died. I think this is the inspiration of the Rizal Law 1425. But the purpose of this Rizal Law is specifically to rekindle the flame of nationalism in the hearts of the Filipino, particularly the youth or the young people. We are forgetting what our patriots have done in given the fight for our freedom. And I think this law is very important and a reminder always that we have to be nationalistic and always rekindle in our hearts the good deeds that our ancestors did for the country. But person to become a hero, and these are the factors in determining a person to be a hero. You must be just, patient, courageous, bearer of wisdom, respectful, nationalist. And criteria in choosing the Philippine national hero, you all have to be a Filipino citizen. You have a patriot, nationalist, and of course, as a hero, has already been dead and patient. These are the criteria of choosing Philippine national hero. These are the different personalities nominated to be our national hero, like Marcelo H. Del Pilar, Emilio Jacinto Graciano Lopisay, and Antonio Luna. And of course, Jose Rizal was chosen to be our national hero. But there were issues about the proclamation of Dr. Jose Rizal as a national hero, because they were stories and rumors that he was the illegitimate father of Adolf Hitler. He shouldn't be proclaimed as the national hero because of his cowardice to fight the colonizers through revolution. He was regarded as an American-made hero. These are the issues confronting about Dr. Jose Rizal as our national hero. But the declaration of Rizal as our national hero uh, uh, was only their strategy to hinder our nationalistic feelings. Philippines during Spanish period, there were emergence political unrest and in Philippine politics that started during the reign of King Ferdinand VI. Spanish political instability resulted to frequent shifts of colonial policies and fixed terms of government officials in the Philippines. Then there is the Filipino experience about injustices because courts in the Philippines were represented only by Spanish people. There were deprivation of human rights to the Filipinos. There were corrupt Spanish officials, inequality, racial discrimination, land ownership, and feudalism. Who is Dr. Jose Rizal? Dr. Jose Rizal has these following names. It is precisely about the attributions at the same time connections and the reasons why he has this name, Dr. Jose Protacio Rizal Mercado y Alonzo Realonda. Doctor because he completed his medical course in Spain and was conferred the degree of licentiate in medicine by the Universidad Central de Madrid. Jose was chosen by his mother, who was a devotee of Saint Joseph. Protacio was named in form of Protacio P, come from a Christian calendar in presentation of the day of his birth. Rizal from Rizal in Spanish means a field where a wheat cut while still green and sprouts again. Mercado adapted by Domingo Lampo, which in Spanish term means market. Alonzo, old name and surname of his mother, and Realonda, used by Doña Teodora from the surname of her godmother, based on the culture by that time. Jose Rizal was born near midnight of Wednesday on June 19, 1861, to the Rizal family of Calamba, Laguna. He was baptized by Reverend Rufino Corrientes in the Catholic Church of Calamba on June 12, 1861, 3 days after his birth. His godfather named Father Pedro Casanas, a close friend of the Rizal family, and Lieutenant General Jose Lemery was the Governor General of the Philippines when Rizal was born. The father of Rizal, uh, Don Francisco Mercado, and then uh, his father was born in Biñan, Laguna, and he studied Latin also and philosophy. He became a tenant farmer of the Dominican owned hacienda, a hardly an independent-minded man who talked less, worked more, and was strong in body and valiant in spirit. He died in January, or he died in Manila on January 5, 1898, at the age of 80. Rizal affectionately called him a mother father. The mother of Rizal was Teodora Alonso Realonda. She was born in Manila on November 8, 1826, educated woman at the College of Santa Rosa, a well-known college for girls in the city, a remarkable woman possessing refined culture, literary talent, business ability, and a fortitude of Sparta. She's a woman of more than an ordinary culture. She knows literature and speaks Spanish. And she died on August 16, 1911, at the age of 85. These are the siblings of Jose Rizal, and they are Stortina, the oldest of the Rizal children, Pasiano, the older brother, in confidant of Rizal, who was the second father to Rizal, and immortalized him in Rizal's first novel, Noli Me Tangere, as the wise philosopher Protacio. Rizal regarded him as the most notable Filipino. He became a combat general in the Philippine Revolution. He died in 1930, an old bachelor at the age of 79. And then the third Narcisa, the fourth Olympia, Lucia Maria Concepcion. She died at the age of 3 because of sickness. Her death was Rizal's first sorrow in life. Josefa, an old maid, Trinidad, Soledad, or Chole. This is Rizal's home. Until now it is preserved. It is one of the distinguished stone houses in Calamba during Spanish time. The Rizal family belonged to the Principalia, the town of aristocracy in Spanish Philippines. But the Rizal family had a simple, contented, and happy life. Calamba was a hacienda town which belonged to the Dominican order, which also owned all the lands around. Okay. Rizal's childhood and a poem about Rizal's beloved town written by Rizal himself. It is entitled In Memory of My Town. When he was 15 years old, he wrote this poem, and he was a student at that time in Ateneo de Manila. The first memory of Rizal in his infancy was his happy days in the family garden when he was 3. So he loved to stay in their garden. Another childhood memory was the daily Angelus prayer. By nightfall, Rizal related his mother gathered all the children at the house to pray the Angelus. Another memory of Rizal during infancy was, or childhood, was the nocturnal walk in the town, especially when there was a moon. And it was said earlier that the death of Concha was his first sorrow. At 5, he was able to read haltingly the Spanish family Bible and make sketches with this pencil and to mold in clay and wax on objects, which attracted his fancy. And then also, um, he wrote about the story of the moth uh, made the profoundest impression of his life. And then the first poem written in the native language at the age of 8. And Rizal also wrote his first dramatic work in Tagalog comedy entitled Sa Aking Mga Kababata. Who were the influences or who influenced Rizal during his boyhood? Hereditary influence, of course, because both his parents are also intelligent, and then environmental influence as well, and of course, aid of the Providence. And these are the people who really help Rizal's skills and develop his talents, and at the same time, his academic learning and achievements. The early education of Rizal was in Calamba and in Biñan. The first teacher of Rizal was his mother, who was a remarkable woman of good character and fine culture. His first private tutor was Maestro Celestino, and he is also science tutor, Maestro Lucas Padua. In June 1869, Rizal left Calamba to study in Biñan, accompanied by Casiano. Then from then, Rizal's first teacher in Biñan was Maestro Stiniano Aquino Cruz, his classmate Pedro, who challenged him to fight. And also Andres Lacandanan challenged Rizal to a wrestling match as well. An old painter named Juancho, who was the father-in-law of the school teacher, really gave Rizal lesson in drawing and painting. And from that time, Rizal developed his skill in painting. And he left Biñan after 1 year and a half of schooling. The Martyrdom of GomBurZA. I will discuss about this uh, part two of our discussion. So please wait, and we will have part two of our lesson discussion.